Alright, today we're going to go through the squat, one of my favorite exercises to build strength and athleticism. The squat, in my opinion, is the king of all exercises because it's going to allow you to generate force in your lower half like no other exercise. So today we're going to go through how to warm up for the squat and go through some form. We're going to start with a few mobility drills, and that's going to open up your hips so you're going to have a better quality squat. All right, let's do it. First drill is going to be the lizard stretch. We're going to get right down here. Nice long lunge. And what you're going to do is have your hands inside the hip, so not outside, inside. And what you're going to focus on here is just dropping your hips and really get a nice deep stretch in the groin area. We're going to hold here for 45 to a minute each side. Alright, I've done the lizard stretch. We're going to go into just a deep squat. We're going to hold that position. Now I recommend taking your shoes off for this one because that's going to allow you to have a better feel on the ground with your feet, which is very important for the squat. So I'm going to sit down in just the squat position. Just going to hold this and we're going to shift left to right, and that's going to allow you to open up your ankles as well as your hips. Now with your back position, we don't want to lean over like this too much. We want to keep a nice upright position, and that's going to allow you to emulate the bottom position of the squat. So we're going to hang here for up to 2 minutes or however long you need depending on the day. So what I like to do is, if it's cold, I'm going to sit here for a couple of minutes. If it's warm outside and you're feeling pretty limber, I'm going to sit here for about 30 seconds to a minute. Before you get the bar on, you want to make sure your grip is in the right place so then it's even on your back. So make sure your hands are nicely even. There should be some indicators on the bar. So if you look over here, got some little grooves. So I'm going to place my hands evenly on both sides, and then from there I'm going to shoot under. But when I shoot under, I'm just going to pull my shoulder blades together, and then that creates a nice shelf just behind my neck. Trying to stay as upright as possible while getting as low as possible. So we're going to break out the hips first and then bend the knees. Obviously we're going to have mobility demands, and that's different for everyone, but the goal is to stay upright and get as deep as possible. Warmed up, I'm going to just take my shoes off. We're going to warm up to maybe 80 to 90% of what I can lift. With the bar, I like to do a fair few reps, and that gets the joints moving. Let's do a few reps. So I'm taking my shoes off because that allows me to plant my toes and feel the heels, and that's really important for the squat because if you have a lot of stability, you're going to be able to generate the force. So what I like to do when I warm up for my squat workout is I'll put a weight that I know I can comfortably do for like 20 reps. We're not going to do 20 reps today. We're just going to do up to 5 to 10, depending on how you feel. Obviously, if you're colder, you want to warm up with more reps. If you've already warmed up doing another activity, you can go less reps. But the main objective here is really to mobilize. And we didn't do any activation activities just because I think doing the actual movement is more beneficial than doing a ton of those band exercises. Yes, we did go through 2 mobility drills. That's mainly to open up hips to feel more comfortable. My first warm-up set. Okay. I just did 3 reps because I'm pretty warmed up. You may not know, but I've taken a lot of takes. Alright, so I've done a fair few reps on this low weight. We're going to go up to the next warm-up set. So I'm going to place some more weight on here. A lot of people ask, how many warm-up sets should I do? Well, that really depends on how heavy you're going to be squatting. So if you're squatting under 100 kilos, you're not going to need too many warm-up sets. But generally the rule of thumb is the closer you get to your working sets, the less reps you should be doing. Mainly I'd take about 5 warm-up sets. So bar, 60 kilos. We're on 100 kilos now. Then I'm gonna go to 120 and then my working set at 140. I'm gonna do about 5 reps here. It's not really heavy, but there's enough weight that I can feel the muscles working. And then there's enough weight to push all the joints into that correct position at the bottom. And that's the objective. That's feeling pretty good. I'm gonna jump up to my next warm-up set. How long do you wanna wait between your warm-up sets? You wanna catch your breath before you go to your next warm-up set. So I recommend 2 to 3 minutes. This is my last warm-up set before I hit my top working weight. And this is gonna dictate if I actually do that working weight. So if this feels crap, I'm not gonna go as heavy. But if it feels pretty good, I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 reps and then I'm ready for my working set. All right, let's see how this goes. Feeling pretty good. All the joints are warmed up, muscle is active. One very important thing about squatting before warm-ups is preparing for a heavy squat. So, breathing, very important. You want to take a nice, big, deep breath before you go down into the squat, into the belly, and then pretend that you're sinking underwater. You need to hold your breath. So don't breathe out at the bottom. You want to have a breathe out at the top. All right, we're going to start the first working set. Let's see how we go. I'm only going to do about 3 reps. All right, as you can see, I did not get 3 reps. Not every program you're gonna do is gonna work out. All the reps that you write down in percentages are not gonna play out 100% the way you want it. This is where you're gonna use things like RPE or reps in reserve to make your workouts a bit more effective, especially on the squat. So we're gonna go down today. I've done my squat workout. I've actually rolled some old footage of my squat workout. Just not happening today, which is fine. It's a very demanding exercise, not only on your muscles, but on your nervous system. So if you've done some heavier stuff throughout the week, it's gonna impact on some of your future workouts like today. After the squat, what do? Do you cool down or do you just jump to another exercise? So my recommendation is, if you've got another lower body exercise, it's a great way to just jump straight into it, because the squat works the entire hip musculature, your legs are active, your spine's active. This is where I like to go into my next favorite exercise, which is the deadlift. So if you finished your squat session and you're not going on to the deadlift, this is what we're gonna do. One of the things I recommend, and it does help with delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, is just rolling. Place the roller on the mid back, have your hands together to support your head, and we're just gonna roll up and down in that upper back section. And you don't really want to roll the lower back. It's not going to feel nice. But usually where we want to loosen up is the upper back. Not many people know that the squat, the back squat especially, is very demanding on the upper back musculature. If you find that your squat failing at one point, especially near the top, it's usually upper back, and that's where you want to work. You want to get stronger in the upper back, so a lot of rows, a lot of lat pull downs as well. Next part, we're going to roll the quads, and it's going to be on my forearms, roll back and forth along thigh area, and make sure you twist inwards as well. Get the outside of the quad, and then just inwards as well. And we're just gonna hang here for about a minute. Or you can hang here for longer, but I recommend a minute. And that's it.